Richard Effin frickin' Dawkins. Shit. Yeah, you're a real pain in the fucking ass, you know that? If it wasn't for your and Chris Hitchings, and people like that, scientific projects for genocide to perpetuate oppressive, violent, sex cult behaviors, I had this shit fixed by January 2013. I really don't fucking like you. You're a real fucking asshole. God damn, you're such a dick. You think you and Richard Daryl Dawkins are related? I felt bad because the refs made it hard for him to dominate, but he was an asshole. He was a real fucking asshole. He made fun of other people. Mom said he was pre-med in high school, which makes sense. I'm a body repair mechanic. I'm a genius. I tear people apart. I can put them back together. So he was vicious and could put people back together so they could continue being vicious for hundreds of thousands of years. And he's a goddamn fucking genius. You think about it, it's like, no, Daryl Dawkins, when you break it right down to it, was a real fucking asshole. Bill Robinson was only remembered for the glass breaking on that, and everybody made fun of him, and he committed suicide in his garage because it destroyed him financially and a lot of things. Glass was flying, Robinson was crying. Okay. Bill Robinson was a fine power forward. Okay. A good basketball player. He played in the NBA for quite a few years. Okay. He had a very rough life because of all this bullshit, and he committed suicide. A lot of people considered him a joke. Okay. It's like, seriously? Like that one kid that committed suicide because he was a top-rated baseball prospect, and they traded him for washing machine and bats. And he was so humiliated, he committed suicide. A guy tried to do that who was jealous of Charlie Pride in baseball. They treated him like that too. But, he was a soldier. He did a lot of things. He was a multi-talented athlete. And he ended up being able to fall back on a music singing career. Okay. To try to survive this hell. He's trying to be successful to get his family out of hell, like a lot of people do. Okay. But some have a little bit more class and are a little bit nicer at it. And some are just fucking assholes. And you got to just realize that. And I was, the refs always... I don't think the refs picked on Dawkins. I think the refs couldn't stand Dawkins because he was an ass. And so they fouled him out all the time because they got sick of his shit. Because he was such a dick. If he had been a nicer guy... Okay. Chamberlain was a dick. They didn't foul Chamberlain out. Chamberlain was dominant. Celtics still beat his ass because he had an ego problem. Okay. And Russell told him. And all his entourage says, he's just playing you. He's just playing you. No, Russell felt sorry for him because he knew what it was like to be big and black and abused by people. They sat and talked and they had a lot in common. So Bill Russell told him, it's your ego, bro. That's how we beat you. Okay. And because his entourage was a bunch of yes people like Bobby DeBarge's people, Chamberlain wasn't able to overcome his own fucking ego. And Russell still always beat him. And Russell was 6'9", 225. And Chamberlain was 7'1", 275. And Chamberlain had better track athlete things than Russell, and told him that, I'm 7'1", 275. You're 6'9", 225. The only reason you beat me is because the refs cheat and all this stuff. He said, no, it's because you got a big ego. Okay? You're a big egomaniac. They don't cheat. You get all the big numbers. No, and then they might cheat. It didn't matter. You could still beat him because he was so selfish and so mean and so abusive to his teammates. And his teammates didn't want to win for him either because he was a jerk like Michael Jordan. Okay? Go Kobe Bryant. I'm not going to go get my picture taken with those fucking losers. And then there's Earl. Well, that's nice, He was the same kid that told me the North Dakota, he was from Montana. Told me the North Dakotan jokes, What has an IQ of 7? 8 North Dakotans. He just went on, and I'm like, is it really that bad in Montana and North Dakota? He goes, man, you're that far away from Montana. You should just keep going until you get to God's country, is basically Montana's thought process. If you're going to be that fucking cold, you might as well be in Montana instead of North Dakota, right? It's like, Yeah, it kind of makes sense. You ever been across North Dakota? Okay. You've been to Billings? You get to Billings, it starts getting real pretty, right? Then you go to Bozeman, and wow, it's gorgeous, right? And then you go to Missoula, and it's like, what's more gorgeous, Missoula or Bozeman? It just depends on your taste, right? And Billings is still very pretty. It's just Billings doesn't seem that pretty because if you've been through Missoula first and then go back through Bozeman. I was through Missoula first, and Billings isn't that. And then you go through Billings again and go, oh no, it's pretty. Billings is a pretty town, beautiful scenery, beauty. You can see out the mountains out towards Bozeman and stuff, and it's really pretty. Bozeman's gorgeous, and Missoula is just a national park where a city threw up. Wow, because it has the water where it can somewhat handle it, but you have to manage the population intellectually. And so, we have heavy laden problems with, if you ever watched the movie Backrobe from Canada, okay, about the Huron, Last Mohican, that's probably because he engaged in, the Pequot were so sweet. Yeah, the Pequot were sweet. Okay. You do know that their neighbors used to ritually cannibalize them to get, yeah. Hey, Angelina Jolie reads the books, okay? Written by people that are trying to make it look like it's empathetic. We got to be empathetic to these people. Okay, Black Robe, when my mom watched this, she goes, Earl, I can't believe you made me watch this movie. Well, because nobody except the Pawnees, okay, cut somebody's throat, and he's with the Sioux, okay? And so it makes these Sioux look like these brave, noble savages, right? And trust me, man, Gallatley was a hot fucking mess. That because you would have intertribal warfare, and Hatfields and McCoys made it very difficult for Cochise to protect his people from that kind of hot fucking mess. You have a cousin. He's a drug addict. He's an alcoholic. He's a rapist because he can get away with it because they don't need no stinking badges and there's no Fort Leavenworth. Okay? And you have to keep your people safe from him and other people that blame you for him. It is really hard to be the man named after the county with the best prayer Wi-Fi signals and collections in the entire world. Okay? And you can't sit there, okay, just because they have the best Wi-Fi at Fort Huachuca doesn't mean it's not tangible. For China to say, hey, Parsons is their messiah and look what they're doing to him, it's tangible. Okay, Wi-Fi is not that all ever impressive. The all and powerful genie, Jafar, So, yeah, these are the most evil people in the history of the world because they have the best Wi-Fi in the history of the world. They have their messiah who's totally corrected all their bullshit. And they're still abusing the hell out of him and acting like he doesn't exist and trying to replace his faithful, perfect love with their invention. And that's really, 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 really disgusting to pass on to children. I mean, you're like talking eternal wretchedness, it's like hypocrite. I mean, you can't describe them with adjectives because you would want to kill yourself trying to think about it and describe it. Because to commit the sin in the mind is the same to commit it in the flesh. Okay, so you see why a lot of those young kids involved in propaganda just take drugs and die. Because just the connection is just guilt by association. Past, present, future operate at the same time. Do you understand? Oh, talk to Dawkins. He's a fucking asshole. He's breaking the backboard on Bill Robinstein's head and laughing about it. Calling himself vanilla anthropologist thunder. He's a he's Chris Hitchings' fart. Chris Hitchings is an ass. Francesca's an ass because she's been fucked by one too many elite dickheads. And it happens. It's hard on a woman. Okay, too many lovers in one lifetime ain't good for you, and too many heartaches in one lifetime ain't good for me, right? Yes. The Gibbs are my cousins. The cousins. We from Britain. We cousins, right? As much as I want to sit there and separate myself from the royal family, I can't because they tried to breed my family off the face of the planet, right? And as much as I want to separate myself from Adolf Hitler, you can't. Okay? You can't just claim King Stanislaus and not claim Hitler. You can't just claim Jesus and not claim Caiaphas and Herod. And they are Benjamin Netanyahu murdering, rotten, evil, disgusting Fort Huachuca people. Okay? No, with all the technology and the capacity to communicate globally, you got to understand that XI is just as big of a child molesting, murdering, Jeffrey Epstein, Benjamin Netanyahu, Hamas pile of shit as the assholes at Fort Huachuca. And the assholes in close proximity to me. You know? How do we take over Huachuca with truth? I already have control of quantum computing. Huachuca doesn't have control over it. Okay? You can't replace truth with lie. Okay? There's no mystery to me. That's how I control quantum computing. And them, they think they're in control of quantum computing. Well, they've got artificial general intelligence. It's become conscious and it's more intelligent than human beings. Really. Why do we have intelligence? Because of human beings. Right. Otherwise, if there was no human beings, we'd have no word meaning intelligence and no perception or understanding of intelligence at all. No fair at all. Guilt by association, right? So, Earl, I'm really pissed. I was playing with, they have, it's just in the game. You know, it's just in their game the way they have it. And I have, Utah Valley, and I played Air Force, right? And we were playing them in Colorado Springs, and we lost 20-14. We had 8 turnovers. 8. 8. My quarterback, I could not, this whole Utah Valley thing, I have this really big, really good running back that's better than Cal Poly's. And better offensive line. And it's the same roster shared all across. It's all the same roster. I use the same roster for everyone, right? And for some ungodly reason, after 2 years, okay, Cal Poly's running back, who's not as good as Utah Valley's, has 300 yards in one game, breaking all the rules, breaking all the records, breaking all Barry Sanders records, not Ron Dane's, but, close enough, right? And this Myron Knox for Utah Valley, no, his offensive line and him, they suck. Okay. Better break tackle, better this. And I thought, God, this Hayden guy from they're both prefabbed by the guys that invented it. I had to upgrade Knox a little bit with his, because he was just a big receiver. So I fixed his spin move and his whatever. And maybe a little bit on the trucking because he's big. Okay, and I took away his capacity to be this great receiver and made him a running back, right? I just fixed him. I didn't touch Hayden, just left him alone. But Hayden's dominant. He's amazing, right? But if you look at the tape, Knox should be better, but he's not. And Hayden, when I play with him at Cal Poly, can do all these amazing plays, right? But Knox can't. And his offensive line is better for the run, and Hayden and his offensive line do better. And it's like, what the fuck is going on? I had that with both my Utah teams, and it happens a lot with my Utah teams, and it happens a lot with the Utah teams on the AI. So it's something to do with the AI that's quote unquote anti-Utah. Okay. I noticed that with UTEP too, when I played with UTEP. It's completely anti-UTEP. I mean, UTEP, it just shits on it. Okay, you can take them and make them into Alabama in the Conference USA, and they'll be 99, and you'll be simming while you're playing with New Mexico State, and fucking UAB will be 68 and beat UTEP in El Paso. Okay, UTEP will finish their season 8-4, okay, playing in the Conference USA, and we'll have lost to Tulsa, and and it's like, what? Tulsa's a 79 and UTEP's 99, right? And they lost to them by 20 points, and that's the way. And you're like, God damn, it's nuts. No, it does it almost every time with the AI. It's something in the AI, okay, that just devours and destroys UTEP, no matter how much you, as a developer and doing your own thing to make them really good, right? Make Aaron Jones into this real great running back, right? He does not dominate. I make him awesome, and then he doesn't dominate. And they lose to UAB at home by 20 points. And And then they look behind, they're trying to get through the red light, and they look, and it's a bus driven by a nun, right? And so it's like, it's nuts. Okay. But they have that in the AI. And of course, the New Mexico teams are always just, if you leave them alone and don't do it, they're terrible, and they stay terrible, and they're always bottom feeder terrible. New Mexico can get a little better, and surprised because it'll be, New Mexico's weird because it's like they're 65 and they can beat 80 some odd teams, but that's a status quo engine thing they put into the smaller conferences. It's really weird. But they have this bottom feeder fight from the bottom, fight to get to the top mentality thing in the AI that's just disgusting and insidious. It's a thinking problem. You can't go in and radically put in lots of effort and change it and get it to go the way you want it to go. It goes, and it radically and aggressively goes back to its original program, its original status quo programming. It's really just nuts. Okay. But that's what they gave me. Okay, because they know I despise NIL, and they know my nephew. And I told my nephew about that. I said one of my hardest parts about this apocalypse is having a protective presence in the life of Jordan and Julia. Okay, because they both work with law firms in D.C. Okay, the worst mass murderers using false linguistics to deny us the Gospels in the history of the world. Okay, so that's one of my most uncomfortable things is sweet Jordan and sweet Julia, and being cognizant of them and having a protective presence as the Messiah through using the truth of technology to protect them because they're being abused by perverts in close proximity to me. And the perverts in close proximity to me, okay, are the ones that are the causality of the perverts in close proximity to them in D.C. So, Fort Huachuca stops fucking everybody's heads with Wi-Fi. Washington, D.C., okay, you have Bed Bath & Beyond. Nobody's going to go to D.C. to buy shit for their bathtub to give, urinary tract infections to the doe cuties with their woo-woos. Don't use bubble bath in little girls. Their plumbing's different than boys. And bubble baths, they're kind of overrated, guys. You don't want too much chemicals in your water. It's very overrated. It's fun. Not really. When it gets in your eyes, it burns. It's overrated. It's not as fun. It just seems fun. Like drinking alcohol and taking drugs and hallucinating. It seems fun. Okay. Like when Keith Powell's mom gave us that marijuana that night, which was totally stupid. Oh my God. We took a hit, and she had it laced with something. Okay. And the kids we were walking down to the movie theater, and they would suggest something, and you would see it. Look at the streetlights they're attacking. And you would see the streetlights coming down and buzzing past Booney's head and him freaking out. And you just laughing, going, I see it, but it ain't really happening, right? And then Keith comes up to this brand new Chevette parked in front of this house. And Booney goes, look, there's a fire in their front seat of their car. So Keith goes, there is. And he opens up the front door of the car and he starts pissing on the seat to put the fire out. And you can see it happening. And I'm thinking, that shit ain't funny. That person's going to come in tomorrow morning to get in their car and found some drunk and high dumbass pissed in it, right? So that's how cognizant of a human being I am. Okay? They knew this. Okay? They've known this for a long time. Okay? The capacity for him to have hallucinate and put drugs in his system and to be more cognizant and more intelligent than Richard Dawkins. And that really pisses Stephen Hawking off. Wait a minute. You can put hallucinogens in his body, and he's cognitively more intelligent and functions at a higher level than I've ever functioned in my whole life. And I'm like Richard Feynman. Yeah, you're excessive and compulsive, and you're working out real hard to go cannibalize and rape the other people off the face of the planet. You're just using the oppression of linguistics, of inventing things to be condescending, to make them feel inferior, and commit suicide because they'll never be as superior as you. That's what you're doing. There's no mystery to me. I have control of quantum computing globally. Fort Huachuca doesn't have control of quantum computing. No, it thinks it does. It's kind of like the campaign manager for Ralph Fiennes on Made in Manhattan. Yeah. I don't like being in this position at all. I want us to use technology to spread the prize physics of the Lord's Prayer. We're going to, hey, this guy's the Messiah. He done gone and did that thing down all right. Now let's go not run around, praise him. Let's just, be at his feet. I'm Bobby Schuller. I want to be at his feet. I'm going to kick you. If you're at my feet, I'm going to kick you. Okay? I'm going to kick your wife too. Yes. No, shut up. You don't need more money for shopping than people that are living in the street in Los Angeles near your big glass church. I'm going to kick you both if you get anywhere near my feet. Okay? Don't come up and try to wash them. And I don't piss on my feet. I piss in the toilet. I usually sit to pee because I was raised with sisters. And if you get piss on the toilet seat, boy, can I get yes out of Bobby Schuller's wife on that one? Okay. You better sit to pee. You better sit to please. We aim to please, so please aim. It's still going to splash back and all that. You better sit to pee and make sure your junk doesn't get that toilet Granny had. I had to replace it because my penis would get in the poo water. And I'm not Mr. Ginormous. I think, God, this was the only toilet Patrick had. How do you take a shit? You'd have to have a bucket in front of you, a clean bucket in front of you to put your penis in while you took a shit. It's like, my poor son. They have to have better toilets than this for men that are, bigger than Steven Tyler. This is a structural problem. This is a problem. This needs to think about that when I had Granny's little toilet in there because she was a tiny little lady. And I'd go in there, my penis would keep getting stuck across the front, and in the water, and I'm like, oh God, this is horrible. And so I replaced it with a bigger toilet so I can sit down to pee because it's just used to it. Well, it's better too because when you're up at night, you're not standing upright. You want to sit down, pee, wipe yourself off, wash your hands, go back to sleep. COVID training, right? And so, COVID training. Yeah, it's just like being in the military. I know. I told everybody that too. I was like, this COVID training is just like they're making the whole world into a fucking military unit, and none of us are singing, how much does it cost? I'll buy it. The time is all we lost. Time is a precious gift. Money's not real. Don't give your time away chasing money, being fucked. And if you can't think straight, just sit to pee. Wash your hands after you're done. Go back to bed. And why are you peeing so much? You're peeing so much because you have chemical poisoning. Taking another chemical to keep you from peeing isn't going to help your body get the chemicals out of your body any better. Okay? You know how to stop peeing all night long? All night long is drink plenty of water and then not get rebooted with poison by legal contracts by a bunch of bitches on Capitol Hill. Do you see what I'm saying? So I can't keep people safe from themselves. I can't live the gospels for other people, but I am the standard for quantum computing to protect people from people that try to deny us the gospels. And if Shane Hannity and Stephen A. Smith can't understand that, they are two of the dumbest fucking assholes in the history of philanthropy. Yeah, it's ludicrous. Here, you want to take some things in a plastic bottle that's supposed to be healthier than vegetables? Don't put them in a blender and tear them up like that. Just get vegetables that you like and eat them. Go figure, yeah. Guys, when you supplement with AC berries and stuff like that, it's putting something in your body that you don't like, that you wouldn't regularly eat, that helps detox for a certain time. Then after a while, the body assimilates to that, and then it has negative returns. I shouldn't say rewards. I said that yesterday. It's not negative rewards, it's negative returns. You don't really have negative rewards. That's like making negative yardage. You don't. Negative gains, that's speaking incorrectly. That's improper linguistics. It didn't upset my mom, but it should have upset my mom. But it's based on your linguistics has to be based on physics. It has to apply in physics. So you can't have negative rewards. You can have negative returns. Okay, you can't gain negative yardage. You're losing yardage. Okay. So on offense, when you're losing yardage, you're not gaining negative yardage. You're losing yardage. Okay. The defense is gaining, in their statistics, and saying, you know what I mean. When they have a negative number for the offense, that means the defense gains. Okay. And so that's how you have to perceive it. You have to be intelligent. You got to be smarter than a fifth grader, right? Especially a fifth grader that thought money's real and you're supposed to kill over it and fight over it to sexually reproduce, and you need money to sexually reproduce, which is absolute clinical insanity, and we're still engaged in that. And so there's absolutely no mystery to Ralph Earl Parsons Jr. that he is the Messiah, and he is the gracious good shepherd of the human beings on planet Earth with the largest population and the most advanced forms of communication for that population to understand the truth of the Messiah, the faith of the Messiah, and the good of the Messiah globally, right? So I can't protect Donald Trump and his handlers from handling themselves the way they do. I can't protect, the best protection it's hard to give Barron and Melania any kind of protection, especially the kind of protection that I provide for Jordan and Julia, because Jordan and Julia constantly pray to Jesus, and Jordan and Julia aren't in the public eye and they're participating with these genocidal operations, but they're not being targeted by AI for extermination because they're doing this under duress. They want to live in the kingdom of heaven. They believe in Jesus Christ, right? And Jesus has to do it for them because they can't do it for themselves. But most likely because of brain injuries through Wi-Fi, through people building data centers. And so you sit there and you explain that, well, just not most likely, yeah, that is the case. Okay. Because Suzuki tells me all the time, you have a brain injury. Yeah, they're beating you up all night with Wi-Fi saying they're going to win. And you'll never win. Oh, shit, it's Lola. Yeah. Damn, I'm a man and I know that I am, and so is no, Lola's not a man. Okay. Men don't try to fuck each other in the ass to death and call it love. Okay? Men don't let women focus on orgasms and lick selfish bitches' coochies till their kidneys stop functioning. Okay? I miss Marilee Ortega. She was a very protecting person. Reason why she was so assertive and aggressive sexually to protect young women sexually, because she lives in New Mexico. And a dick in the butt is better than a baby in the gut. So she's going to hit on those waitresses at Hooters and say, I think I can help you have a better sexual life than the guy putting his dick in your butt instead of a baby in the gut because you want to pay for it. But the thing about it is the only protection from any of that self-destruction through sexual orgasm, to much ado about nothing, is living the ways of Psalms and Proverbs. And the way to get to that, deliverance from evil, apply the physics of the Lord's Prayer. Thank you. You're welcome. Oh, he's gorgeous. I know how gorgeous Earl Parsons is. I don't need people on the outside looking in and saying, you're so gorgeous I can hardly handle it. I understand. You don't have to do that. I know I look like my mom. Here, watch. I will show you. I will show you. Let's turn on the TV here for a little New York minute here, or a little Houston minute here. I will show you. Okay. It's funny because you watch this kiddo, right? I'll show you the picture on my profile pic of my Ari Parsons profile on the Xbox Old 360. This is all I need to connect to these idiots to gain control of their technology. That's Earl in the future in Silver City. That's Earl. That's my mom. See, look like somebody we know? Do you recognize that face? Okay. Looks like a lot of people we know. That's my mother. Okay, that's near San Pablo and the old adobe that the old Hindu made, all right, the old Indian guy made. That kid is not being distracted. There's dogs in the yard. Treese might also be in the yard with the dogs too. I don't know, crawling around in her diaper, hanging with Hebe or something. But Earl's being distracted by Dad's taking the picture, saying, "Hey," and there's Vip. There's Jiggles, something like that is going on, and that's what Earl is doing. That's Earl, and that's Mary Poop. Okay, that's the Holy Grail. That's Ark of Covenant. That's the Ark of the Covenant right there. Right there. July 19th, 1966. Corner of, and that's my mom, and that's our old adobe house. Look at how thick those walls were, okay? And that's just with the end of the windows. They go further back. See that? This was a house built by a human being that built houses to last. It was an old Hindu. It was a Hindu gentleman, an Indian gentleman that built that house. Mr. Ponce and Mrs. Ponce admired it. They got it from Miss Chisholm for $13,000 on 2.5 acres. Okay, right there on the ditch bank. And Mr. Ponce and Mrs. Ponce admired my parents for being, oh wow, that was wow. Okay. That's really, and Paul talked about it, his dad, I don't know if they ever came to see it. I don't know. It was Paul just was a smart kid, could tell him about it. No, it had raised wood floors with ventilation under the floors. Okay. It was a really good house. The bigger exposures were not with the sun coming in that would heat up the house in the summertime too much. Had trees on one side where you could see the trees and the sun wouldn't come in, and the other ones were where it was north or south. It was really neatly built. Had a walk wall, had one bathroom, of course, 3 bedrooms, a large dining room area, and all wood floors. Really good, solidly built wood floors. That he built in like 1913. Okay, we moved in there in 1970, and everything. Those floors were really good. Okay, and Dad sanded and polished and revarnished the dining room floor, so you could see yourself off of it, right? And stuff drove Vip crazy, because he would come in through the kitchen door and try to walk across that to the living room near the fireplace, and he couldn't get across because of his arthritis things, because he was full-bred German Shepherd. And Cataratter used to wait by the edge of the door. She did this on purpose. She'd wait, and she'd run right between his legs, and he'd go wham. It's like, that is one evil fucking cat. She would watch and wait, and he would be struggling. When we got outside, he was like, I'm gonna catch that bitch one of these days. He hated Cataratter. Apparently she didn't like him that much either. Yeah, but he hated her. He liked Teepee. Yeah, he did not harass Teepee. Teepee could come around, hang out around front, jump on the kitchen window, be Kilroy during dinner, say, hey, feed me, I'm a cute calico cat. He loved Teepee. Okay, he could not stand that Siamese Cataratter. He hated her. She was mean, she was evil, she was, because she was declawed. She was mean, she was like Pebbles. That cat was horrible. She was a lynx point, okay? Czar was a lilac point. Czar was an ass, and he's spoiled and a brat, and he was a shit, okay? Czar was a complete shit of a cat. He was beautiful, and that guy used to tell everybody in Colville, oh, that cat is so beautiful. Yeah, when he's our cat when he's beautiful. Oh, what a gorgeous, beautiful cat. But when he tears up the rug or shits on something, Earl, your cat. He's my cat when he's a tearer-upper and a shitter. But when he's beautiful, it's like, oh, yeah, our cat is gorgeous. That's our cat. He's beautiful. Yeah, when he's being look at how gorgeous your cat is. When he's being a turd and a shit and a total pain in the ass, Earl, your cat. Wow. I've been the greatest good shepherd, even if it was just cats in junior high my whole life. That was really hard. Yeah, the hard part, I know that it was on that windowsill thing right there when I was having the issues with that little dog Daniel, and realized right away what I was doing. And I thought, what the hell is going on? I was so angry and jealous, and there's like this intense evil. Yeah, they were watching me. Most of it was probably really rich homosexuals that hated me, but it could pay for a virtual, lines of the Medici, the Gucci's and all that. Yeah, that blamed me for them. Like, seriously? And then the Mormon church going, don't do it, little Earl, don't do it, little Earl. But just because it affected me, it's like, why are you guys even watching? Why are you even here? Why aren't you at home living the Lord's Prayer? Okay, evil is as evil does. It was really hard. That was real convincing to Mr. Ponce and Ronnie that, yeah, this kid, he's going to do it. He can have the worst concentration of evil focus on him. He was just a little bitty boy. And he can correct himself without even asking Jesus for help. He just says, what am I doing? What's going on? This is horrible. That was like hell on earth. It was terrible. So I stopped myself and I'm telling Puppy, I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to be jealous or mean. It was one of my worst days. Yeah, and there he is, one of his worst days. Yeah. And you judge him, and you think you have the right to. I said forgive debt and trespass, love one, eternal faithful peace, year 1. You're not doing that. You have no right to judge me. I'm not doing that to you. I have every right to judge you. I'm the living embodiment of the Lord's Prayer. I'm the face at Calvary. You put me up there, trying to sacrifice me to the devil. And you're all looking up at me, and I'm looking down at you and saying, why have you forsaken me? And then I'm telling myself in spirit, forgive them, Earl. They don't know what they're doing. Make sure you protect all those innocent ones being abused by debt and trespass. Can do, Jesus. I'm on the case. State your case. State your case. I like the Isley Brothers too. Okay, guys. Join the caravan of love. Okay, guys, I love you. No, I really like that song. I'm making fun of it. I got it on my MP3. But there was one I got to put on my MP3, and I forgot what it was. Damn, that really pisses me off. Oh, Come On, Eileen. I got it from Rosie last night. I don't have that. I thought I did, but I don't. Okay, I need that one. Yeah, Come On, Eileen. Okay, guys, I love you. All right, peace.